Trinity Business School is at the most exciting time in its history. We're an established business school in a 400-year-old university, but we're growing fast. In fact, we're one of the most rapidly expanding established business schools in the world. This year, we moved to an 80 million state-of-the-art facility right in the heart of Trinity's campus. The new building is right at the centre of Dublin City, neighbouring the International Financial Services Centre and next door to the European headquarters of the world's leading digital businesses. We live, work and study at the nexus of industry and research expertise, surrounded by some of the most creative thought leaders and companies on the planet. The reason global businesses are eager to work with our students and professors is because they understand the exceptional learning communities they're coming from. If you want to work with international researchers who are expert in their field, if you want to join the ranks of our highly sought after graduates or faculty, if you want to make a real impact in business and society, then Trinity Business School could be for you. Check out our website, get in touch, come visit.
Welcome to this webinar of Trinity College in Dublin, where you will hear in the next 30 or 45 minutes or so about the postgraduate options at the Trinity Business School. My name is Luc Mulling, and I will briefly explain to you how this works. So it might be your first time you join a webinar for you. So we have several options at your fingertips. First of all, you can ask questions at any time through the panel called Q&A. So you can do that at any time. Even if you're watching the recording, you can write your questions. When you're watching the recording, they will be sent by email. But for the live audience, we will be handling the questions and answering them at the end. What else? We also have prepared a couple of resources. For example, the brochure of the postgraduate programs. You can find it at the bottom right. I would say check it out later at the end. But of course, now you want to hear about the programs from the presenters that we have lined up for you. And we have two staff members from Trinity College in Dublin with us. And I'd like to hand it over to the student recruitment manager, Charlie Cunningham, and he will introduce himself alongside with Patrick Phillips. Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks very much, Luke. Appreciate that entry. And welcome, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. I hope everything is okay with you. I'm talking to you from a sunny Dublin, which is always nice. Look, as Luke said, we're just going to go through a couple of things to do with Trinity Business School, give you a bit of information on our courses. Patrick will go into a bit more careers information, and then we'll do a bit of Q&A at the end. So without further ado, we'll get going. And just give you, I suppose, a little bit of information on Trinity and Trinity Business School itself. So Trinity, the university, was founded in 1592. So, there's a lot of history there. There's a real tradition of excellence in academics. And I guess, not being from Dublin myself, but, it's a very unique campus in the heart of Dublin city centre, and really going through that front arch, you really feel that history. It's a beautiful campus, it really is. That sort of history and excellence in academics has kept us at the #1 university in Ireland. We're currently 101st ranked in the world. It's an extremely international university. In fact, we were recently ranked 8th in the world for international students, which is fantastic. And you really get that feeling at the university with our faculty, our students, everyone around the campus. You really get that sense of international feel. So, and as was mentioned in the video, we've just moved into our new business school. It's an 80 million euro building. It's a fantastic facility. And it's, again, on the heart of our campus. Which hopefully you will get to see in the coming months. So just a little bit about the business school and its DNA. A big one for us, and our dean would commonly mention it, to put in more than you take out. And that's not just students, and sorry, that's not just faculty and students. That's everyone. That's everyone that's associated with the university. And actually, for those who may be interested in scholarship opportunities, it's a big factor on our scholarship procedure, is putting in more than you can take out, and really to help the school grow and improve. Another one, which Patrick will go into more detail, is education focused, and real business education environments, and a lot of that comes down to our location. We are at the heart of Dublin city centre. We are surrounded by many multinationals. Big Four finance institutes are just across the river from us, so we really are in a unique location to offer a real professional and career-orientated business programs. And just there on the left, student personal development and well-being. A big bit of the Trinity education is what goes on outside the classroom, be it through the clubs, the societies, and then Dublin City itself. It really is a unique experience, and it all makes up what is crucially the Trinity Business School DNA. Just as a confirmation of our quality and of our programs would be the various accreditations that we have. Like I said, we're the #1 university in Ireland, 101 globally. And we have our various accreditation bodies there that recognise not only the school itself, but also the individual programs, which is great for us, and it's great for you going forward and on your CV and things like that. So I suppose going in now more specifically to our master's portfolio, as you can see, our master's programs fall into various different categories, all of which some of which will be of interest to you. In our management section there, we have international management and management. Now, Luke mentioned you do have the course brochure available to view. This is international management is for our people with a previous business background, whereas management is for those who are coming into the business school without a business undergrad, and are looking to maybe convert to a business degree. We then have our finance section here. Our MSc in finance is FT ranked. Last I checked, I think it was 27th in the world. We have financial risk management and our PG diploma in accounting, into our very popular marketing programs, marketing and digital marketing strategy. And then we have our specialist programs, entrepreneurship. Actually, Trinity for the last 6 years now, has been the #1 university for producing entrepreneurs in Europe, which is fantastic. And it's reflected in the courses that we offer, and the way that the courses are taught. Human resource management and operations and supply chain management. New this year is our business analytics program. We are recruiting for that currently, and first class will be in September 2021. Again, all the information and specifics to these programs is in the brochure attached. So one of the big things with our programs is that graduates from all disciplines can apply. We feel that it brings a great diversity to the program. We feel that it brings, people with different backgrounds, brings a different kind of discussion to the program, and really helps you learn from the others in the classroom. The only programs really where a background in terms of a business background is required would be the MSc International Management. And then I suppose the MSc Finance and the Financial Risk Management will look for a quantitative background of some sort, more so the Financial Risk Management, for which if you don't have that background, you may be asked to do a GMAT, which isn't a requirement for other programs, for example. Just to give you an idea, you can see, again, this information in the brochure, a sample learning structure of one of our programs. And in fact, the finance one is next. But as you can see, our terms are broken down into three. First semester is September to December, the Michaelmas term at Trinity. We have the Hillary term, which is from January to April. And your third term then is spent doing your dissertation, or in some of the programs, it's a company project where you can go and work on a research project within a company. You'll have your core modules and you'll have your elective modules. Some programs, as you'll see in the next slide, have more electives than others. For example, this is our MSc in finance, and as you can see, you can choose 4 electives from a pretty substantial list in your Hillary term, so in your second term. And this, I suppose, it really can reflect where you want to go after you graduate, where you see your career going after you sit this program. That's something that Patrick and his team can help guide you on. And like I say, it really depends on the path you want to go down. But I think the number of electives on this program in particular, really gives you that choice, and you can really focus in on the area that is of interest to you. But all of our programs finish in the Trinity term with that dissertation, or, like I say, a company project. So just to touch on entry requirements, some of you may have graduated already, some of you may still be studying. That is absolutely fine. But in general, we look for what is a 2-1 in Ireland. So I have a slide next on the different some of the different equivalencies. But you will need your final marks from university. If you don't have your final marks, you can provide us with your most recent and up-to-date transcripts. 2 academic references, a CV, a statement of purpose. The English language proficiency for nearly all of our programs, it's an IELTS of 6.5, but really you should be pushing for an IELTS 7.0. Because like we said, a lot of our programs, I suppose, career focused. There's a lot of communication, your English language will be tested. So, an IELTS of 7.0, and for digital marketing strategy and marketing, that is the minimum requirement, is IELTS 7.0 or TOEFL 100. A GMAT, like I said, isn't a minimum requirement for our programs. However, for financial risk management, you may be asked to sit a GMAT if the director feels that a quantitative background, you haven't shown that in your previous studies. There are scholarships available. You need to have an offer for the program first before you can apply for the scholarship, but it's a very simple application. It's a chance for you to tell us something about yourself that isn't included in the application form that we ask you to fill out for the program. But like I say, you'll need an offer for the program first, and we can give you more information on the scholarships if and when required. Just like I said, admissions, we ask for a 2-1 in Ireland. So not sure where you're watching from, but just to give you an idea, for example, the USA, we require a minimum of 3.2, and we have Italy there, France, Germany. So if you aren't sure if your degree or your results meet the requirements, just let us know. Just send us an email. We can confirm your requirement in terms of the score that we need from you. Sometimes people are maybe just below this, but have great work experience, have a really strong GMAT, and sometimes some exceptions can be made. So get in touch maybe with your CV and just, am I suitable for this program? This is where I get to hand over. I get to stop talking. I can hand you over to Patrick. Patrick will go into information specifically on career development and support. So Patrick, I hand over to you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Charles. So hopefully you can all hear me okay. As Charlie mentioned, my name is Patrick Phillips. I'm one of the careers advisors here in Trinity Business School. I've been here 5 years now, and I've been the careers advisor for some of the courses from the very, very beginning, such as digital marketing strategy and marketing, operations and supply chain, and accounting. So I'm reasonably well experienced now at this stage, and I've been working with students. I've seen them go through the entire recruitment life cycle. I've watched them graduate, and I have an alumni personally of about 1,000 students now who are working all around the world, but a lot of them will be working in Dublin for a lot of the major tech giants, as well as small to medium enterprises and across different industries. So our alumni has grown enormously just in the time that I've been here. And it's been great to actually see the students graduate and progress in their careers. So that's just a little bit about my background. The team, just to give you a little bit of background about the team as a whole, what we have is a dedicated careers team for the postgraduate business students. So the students of the Trinity Business School, the postgrad students, have a dedicated careers team, which is kind of, we were determined to make sure that the business students get that kind of customized service from a careers team, because we understand when you start a master's, it does go very quickly. And so from the moment you start at Trinity Business School, we want to be able to provide you with immediate support in terms of planning your career. And the support we provide is very intensive. But you can see here we have a team of 8, and that includes a careers advisor for roughly every 300 students, which is a very good ratio. And we do as many one-to-ones as required. There's no limit. And we support you from the very, very beginning of the recruitment process through to actually securing interviews, negotiating job offers, and then we provide alumni support after that as well. So I'm still supporting students who would have graduated 2 or 3 years ago as they progress in their career. So in addition to having a dedicated careers advisor, we also, and doing the one-to-one appointments, we also do a number of other events and provide a number of other services. So we do workshops on various topics, like how to design an effective CV, how to prepare for interviews. We have employers come in to give guest presentations, guest talks. We do drop-in CV clinics, and we have guest speakers. All our one-to-one consultations are done in private and are confidential, and they can vary in length. Sometimes the consultation could be 20 minutes, but sometimes they can go up to 45 minutes or even an hour if we're preparing for an interview, or if you want to do in-depth career exploration, those one-to-ones can go for longer. And then we do careers events, careers fairs. We do 3 to 4 of those in a given year. I just wanted to give you an example of something that we've got coming up for the current students. So we've got this schedule that we've designed. We've called it Spring into Action as we move into the spring. So starting tomorrow, we're doing a series of lectures and presentations. So tomorrow I'm actually giving a talk on drafting an effective CV to all of the postgraduate business students. We also have a guest speaker to come in and talk about navigating applicant tracking systems. So tracking systems are becoming more and more popular, and they're the first screening tool that particularly large multinationals use to look at your CV. So understanding how to navigate or how to get past applicant tracking systems is really important. So we're doing a talk on that. We're doing other talks on like how to perfect your elevator pitch. We have the virtual careers fair coming up in April. And then we also run ongoing master classes like on how to prepare for strength-based interviews, answering the most common interview questions. We've actually been keeping a database for the last 5 years whereby we track all the questions that our students get asked in interviews, so we can see patterns developing. So we now have a very effective database with a whole range of questions that are very popular for employers to ask. So we can actually very effectively prepare you for interviews with any of the major tech giants or financial services firms or FMCG firms based on our database of questions that have been asked in the past. So that's really helpful. We can also help you with things like your LinkedIn, your how to brand yourself, how to build a network. We cover all of those topics over the course of the year. So where do our students go to work after they graduate? Here you can see a list of some of the larger multinationals. This is just some of them. Even yesterday we were thinking there's more to add here, but we've literally just run out of space. We also have a huge number of our students who go to small to medium enterprises, go to consulting companies across many different industries. So it's a real eclectic mix. But what we do is we work with each student individually and we determine what's best for them. If they say they really want to work for a multinational, then that's what will help support them to do. If they want to work in a more of a consulting or a boutique type of firm, then we help support them in that endeavor as well. So it is a real mix. But there's a list of some of the companies that our students go on to join after graduation. This is a good little map, which this is kind of you can see Trinity there in the center, and then we have these little bubbles indicating some of the employers that surround Trinity. It really is remarkable to see Dublin have expand and have all of these major multinationals arrive here. Even since I was a kid, it's remarkable. All the major tech giants are here, the financial services firms. They all have a presence, and really in and around where Trinity is located, just a couple of kilometer radius, you have any of the major tech firms that you can think of and the financial services firms. So Trinity is actually a great place to base yourself if you're looking to work in Europe, because often the students get an interview, all they have to do is walk down the road. Because usually the employer in question is just across the river or a couple of blocks away. So geographically, Trinity Business School is a great place to be because it positions you so close to all of these major employers. That's just a brief synopsis of what we do in terms of the career service. Just to summarize, it's a very hands-on approach. We work with you individually. The ratio of students to careers advisors is very good. I did over 500 one-to-ones last year, and I met with the students as often as they require. Some students look for 6, 7, 8 one-to-one appointments. Some are happy with less, but we work with each student individually to make sure that they have a plan in place to achieve the immediate career goals that they want to achieve. And we are here to walk you through that process step by step. So so that's all I'd like to say for the moment. I'll hand it back to Charlie maybe, and then we can look at the Q&A section of the presentation.
Yeah, I think Luke is going to share questions with us, but hopefully we can, between the two of us, we can put some answers together.
Yes, indeed. We indeed have now the Q&A section, and we already have received various questions from the audience, and I can see we have people joining in from different parts of the world, so that's great to see. So let's see what we have. Emmanuel is asking, I was wondering how secure is Dublin? Charlie, what can you say about that?
Yeah, I think Dublin is frequently voted one of the safest and friendliest places to work globally. I think the Irish have a pretty, what would be the word, a consistent, open, friendly, welcoming type of people. I'm not from Dublin myself, but I always feel very confident, very safe in the city. I miss being in the city for that reason, because it's a great place to be. We're currently obviously working from home. Hopefully, it won't be long before we're back in the vibrant city centre that we all know, and Dublin has the reputation for having.
Great. Thank you, Charlie. Question from Constantina is saying, I don't see international relations, or is that part of another program?
International relations, no, obviously it's not a program. I think, Constantine, the best thing might be to, it doesn't, for the programs that I look after, it's not a module, but I think if you want, there is contact details, at the end of this presentation. If this is something you're particularly interested in, I can, forward it to the right person and make sure we can get you that answer. But it's not a program that is offered. You have the brochure there. It might be listed in one of the in the module outline for different programs. But it's not a master's program that we offer. Okay.
So yeah, do check out the brochure. So towards the end, you see at the right bottom, as mentioned, the brochure listed. So you can click on that, and it will you can explore that. Also, I'd like to mention the questions are being recorded. In the sense we will be able to come back to you afterwards. So these questions will be sent through to the staff member of Trinity College, so they can still come back. And this also goes to the people that watch the recording, by the way. So you can write questions as well if you're watching this as a recording. Still use the panel, write your questions there, and they will be sent by email. So they will be sent through. So take advantage.
I think, Luke, sorry to cut across you, Luke. I think for Constantine there, the international management program would probably be the place that I would look at first. If you go on to I know the brochure is there, but on the website you can get a lot more detail on modules. The brochure lists them, but I think the MSc International Management will be where I would look first, if that's the sort of area that you're interested in. But like I said, if not, an email will work.
Perfect. I think that's useful, Charlie. Good. Constantina, let us know if that's what you're looking for. Question from Sergio from Bolivia. Thanks for joining. He's asking, what is the best scholarship I can get as a non-EU international student? You mentioned briefly something about this.
Yeah. So, like I said, our scholarships are for those who hold an offer. So, but what we offer is €5,000 fee waivers. You go through the application process for the scholarship. It is then reviewed by an academic committee and the scholarship panel. And if successful, a €5,000 fee waiver can be issued. Great. I think actually for all, that's a business school, a Trinity Business School scholarship. There are such a thing as a Government of Ireland scholarship for non-EU students and international students. They're not we issue, but it's a Government of Ireland scheme where a full fee waiver can be granted, but that is open for applications for all postgrad students coming to Ireland from outside Europe. So it's very competitive. It's not just a Trinity. It's not a Trinity-only scholarship pool. So the Trinity Business School one would be €5,000, but it's working for those who are looking from outside of Europe. If you look at the Ireland scholarships, I think they've just opened their call for applications for this coming year. But it's a more substantial scholarship. Great.
Thank you, Charlie, for that addition. I can also mention that actually we have a brochure, or rather a list of scholarships listed in the resource list as well. Those are international ones, general ones, but there you can perhaps have a look as well and see if there's one for Ireland there, but they are then governmental or general scholarships. So hope that helps. Question from Limo is asking, what is the GPA for Nigeria? Can you specify that, or is that something he should come back to afterwards?
I think Nigeria, it's the overall degree classification. So I think they are also a 2-1, second degree or a second division higher is what we need. I think for Nigeria it is a degree classification. It's a division 2 higher. But if that doesn't answer your question, yes, please do get in touch and ask. But I think it's similar actually to Ireland and the UK. I think it is a second division higher as well.
Okay, great. I hope that answered your question, Lemo. Let's see. Tiago is asking, could you tell me the equivalence necessary for a Brazilian bachelor?
I can. It's something that if someone wants to get it, I don't have it off the top of my head. But if I can quite quickly work it out, if somebody wants a specific country equivalence, I can find out. As you can see from the slide that we included, they are all slightly different. But I don't want to spend time searching for something while others are waiting.
Exactly. We can come back to that otherwise afterwards or even after the session, because again, the question is recorded, so we can come back to you by email on that if useful.
Out of 10, I think we're looking for a 7.01 from Brazil.
Okay. All right.
I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. Okay, Darina is saying, thank you so much. This is so informative. Well, that's good to hear, Darina. Question from her is, I'd like to know what are the requirements from an MA community development in Durham, so in the UK. Are there also, by the way, PhD or opportunities or masters? Well, the masters, yes, but PhD opportunities for her. Charlie.
Yeah. So PhDs are something that the school is, actually the university is, I suppose, traditionally known as a strong research university. So there are PhDs available. It's a slightly different contact address. Now, I would focus more on the master's programs. But again, an email to ourselves just to request that it's a different application, but there is PhDs opportunities available at the college. Yeah.
Okay. Gida is asking, I'm from Lebanon and I already have a master in international affairs. Which master would be best suited for me?
Look, if everybody's different. With your master's degree, you would be eligible for all of our programs. I guess it might even be a question for Patrick. Maybe it depends. I guess it depends where they see their career going after graduation.
Yeah, I think so. I would sit down with someone in that situation and kind of ask them questions around, where do you see yourself going in terms of your career in the next 2 to 3 years? And I think a good question to ask yourself is, if I could describe my ideal day in work, what would it look like? I mean, would you be working a lot with numbers and spreadsheets, or do you see yourself working more with clients and customers in maybe an account executive role? Are you interested in digital and technology? Well, then it could be digital marketing. So I need a little bit more information to be able to advise on that. I think it depends on the individual. It could, because finance obviously is one end of the business spectrum, and then as you move to the other end of the spectrum, you have things like marketing and digital marketing. So I think it would be good to know a little bit more about you, the person, and I could perhaps give you some more guidance on that. But ultimately, I think it is up to the student to decide what's best for them. That's what I'd say. It's hard to say without a little bit more information.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick, for that addition. I hope that helps. Question from Paul. Can you facilitate internships for example, Google, Oracle, or any of the big firms?
I can answer that in regards to the programs that we offer. Patrick, add in something on internships, but as our programs are our 1-year master's programs, they are quite intense. I know I said there's 3. Those 2 teaching terms in particular will be quite full on and quite intense, and an internship isn't part of the learning for those programs. What we tend to do is have people from the companies that you mentioned come and actually teach on the program. So rather than you going to them for an internship, we tend to, really based on where we are, come to us and teach on the programs. Obviously, different companies will teach on different programs and pass on the information they have rather than the other way around and you going to them. Some of the courses do offer a company project at the end rather than a research dissertation. And that's an opportunity for students to get some sort of very practical hands-on, but as well as that, some of the modules themselves. I think digital marketing is one of the programs, just it springs to mind. There's a project that they do in conjunction with Microsoft and the Government of Ireland, and it's about digitizing everyday experiences that people go through in Ireland, and there's presentations, and it's a competition format almost. But the panel of are Government of Ireland and Microsoft employees. So that's an idea of the real world learning that you'll do in some of the courses.
Yeah, what I would just add to what Charlie said there is, in my experience, the big companies like Google, they don't typically offer master's level students internships, or what I'll say is 90% of the students that go to Google from Trinity Business School will go into professional regular jobs, whether it's account executive or product specialist or politics. So they tend to not so much do the internships as they go straight into full-time professional positions. So, yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that addition, Patrick, and I hope that was clear. We still have a couple of minutes left for some more questions, so if you have any questions, do write them and take advantage right now. I actually have a couple of questions for you, for the audience, as we like to know a couple of things. Since you joined, we like to know your master's program of interest. What are you currently considering? We heard several people already with some of their backgrounds. What are you considering? You see some of them listed here: general management, finance or accounting, marketing, or you're unsure at this stage. So thanks to let us know, both to the live audience and the people watching the recording. You can also answer this. Participate. Please let us know, all of you, and pick the possible program of interest. Okay, we're getting answers in. I'll leave it open for a couple more seconds. And this is, of course, merely to know where you are thinking no means you're applying at this stage. All right. Thank you for your answers. And we'll move to the next question. If you're considering to apply, would you consider applying to Trinity Business School for September 2021? Yes, no, next year? Let us know. Okay, a couple more seconds. And then we go to already the last question that we like to know from you. And that's basically if you find this session useful. Was this session useful for you? Did it meet your expectations? Any feedback that you'd like us to know, you can write it there. Please do let us know. And with that, we're coming to the end of the session. Check if we have a question left. Sorry, yeah, go ahead, Charlie.
I was just going to say, are me and Patrick allowed to say that this session was very useful?
Okay, great. Well, that's already two positive answers, so that's good to hear. And I think we had a question section saying they found it useful, so happy people there. There's a question that came in from Gita, and I'd like to take that one as a last question, or if there's one more, we can take it. Work with international affairs, that was the previous question she asked, but preferring more the economic focus, she's adding. So that I think was in regard to which program.
Yeah, like I said, the
would be suitable.
Program, yeah, the program that sort of, I suppose, is springing to mind would be the international management program. That for me would be the general route I would point that student down. But they would be eligible to apply for a number of our programs. But I think the MSc in International Management sounds like the best fit.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you. I hope that helped, Gita, and also for any other person. These questions were useful for you and the session overall. And I don't see any more questions in, so I think it all was very clear. So with that, we're coming to the end of the session. Here are contact details. I'll pass it over to Charlie for the last session. And from my side, thank you, all of you on different sides of the world for joining in and taking the time. And of course, Charlie and Patrick, taking the time as well for being with us and your explanations and presentations. And over to you, Charlie, to wrap it up.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, Luke, for facilitating this webinar. And thanks, Patrick, for your time. I enjoy it. It's always nice to chat to prospective applicants and prospective students and give a little bit of insight to Trinity and the business school itself. If you want further insight, our social media is pretty active. It's something I'd really recommend following. I don't use the others, but I use LinkedIn and Instagram. I find even the odd picture of the campus from time to time is really nice on Instagram. But if you want to know what our students are up to, or our faculty are up to, LinkedIn is fantastic as well. A new one is the MSc blog there. It's something I'd really recommend having a read of. There's application hints and tips. There's more specific module information from students who are currently studying at the school. And again, it's just a great way to get a feel for the school and the program that you're going to study. Our contact details are there, mine, Patrick's. And if you have any information, or if you have any queries, send your CV to business.masters@tcd.ie. Are you suitable? Are my grades okay? Which course do you recommend for me? And we can hopefully sort of pre-screen you before you apply. So look, that's everything from myself. And again, thanks to Luke for facilitating. Thank you all for joining. It's been really enjoyable, and I hope that it was of benefit to you all. And Patrick, I will chat to you soon, no doubt.
Yeah, and thanks everybody for joining. It was good to speak to you all.
Thank you. Bye.